Good morning. Happy Friday. This is High Priestess Jamila. So, I am scheduled for quite a few readings. Um, but I wanted to do like a pre-discussion, and I wanted to come and talk and speak a little bit about quite a few things that I wanted to go over. I'm gonna get up and go get me some coffee this morning. Um, all right, let me share this. So, I'm going to be doing some past life readings, and I already know that with a lot of you guys, I'm going to be seeing just in general karmic parents, information about karmic parents where you may have a parent in this lifetime that is possibly mistreating you in some kind of way, even an adult, abusing you in some kind of way, whether or not it's mentally, emotionally. You may have a sexual partner or either a karmic lover that could be abusing you in some kind of way. But I think it's important to look at the roots first before you can get through anything else. So, I want to focus this discussion primarily on karmic parents. I do quite a bit of spiritual counseling for people that are going through either emotional abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, narcissistic abuse by their parents or either their grandparents. And oftentimes there will be a past life history to that between you and that person, between you and the parent or you and the person. And a lot of the times the parent will have a lot of different roles. I have went really deep into this new oracle deck that I have, and I plan to purchase several more oracle decks related to past life because I think that you can really do a lot of healing if you deal with past life regressions and transgressions. So a lot of people, and I would say at least 30 to 40% of my clients that I have had in the past several years have suffered through spiritual abuse, being sold into spiritual slavery, being sold into energy harvesting, parents going to practitioners to sell their soul, to sell them to demons. I've actually saw and done readings where I've seen parents actually sell their children to demons for it to be raped, either in the astral or just mentally, physically, psychologically being sold to these demons for whatever reason. Most of the time, is usually if the parent is a drug addict. Typically, it would have to be, hard illicit drugs that and when we look at the world, a lot of people will say, well, that parent is not that bad because there's parents that do far worse. And coincidentally, I was looking at a story last night about um, a woman over in North Carolina and the fury and the anger and the rage that I felt towards these people. basically in a nutshell. But basically, long story short, it was a pimp, a drug addicted pimp, and then the mother was a drug addicted, and the pimp came by, or the drug dealer came by her trailer. This happened in North Carolina, and asked her if she would settle a $200 drug debt with sex, and she said no, but you can have my 5-year-old daughter. Few days later, the 5-year-old ends up found dead in a ditch, um, sexually assaulted and smothered. So, obviously, I mean, um, obviously there are parents out there that are far worse, but I can tell you that I have heard horror stories of people living total lives of frustration, anger, sadness, loneliness, which leads to, you know, um, the orphan syndrome and the PTSD that comes along with abusive parents. Okay. And this goes into adulthood. It can go into adulthood, absolutely. Okay. Being abused by your parents can go into adulthood. And this is where the parent does everything in their power to make sure that nobody cares about you. You're an orphan. A lot of you guys are in your 30s and 40s, and you are an orphan. Your parent lets everybody know, I don't care about my own child. They will demonize you, they will spread rumors about you, smear campaigns, and people in this world. Well, the world is filled with people that are possessed and stupid, right? I mean, honestly, but it would be nice to be loved and to be accepted. Okay. It would be nice to be loved and to be accepted by all people. It doesn't matter, where they're at spiritually, but you tend to walk around with this shadow, this stigma on you from this parent because nobody else feels that they should care about you. No, it's just like we don't care about this person. We don't care. We don't care about you because your mother didn't care about you, or your father didn't care about you, or your sister didn't care about you, or your brother didn't care about you. Hey, Jen, good morning. Happy Friday. And, we've seen this happen to where, especially, it really, really happens a lot with women and their daughters. Happens a lot, more often than you realize it. I actually counsel a lot. I provide spiritual counseling and healing for a lot of women whose mother just didn't care about them. And nobody cared about these women. Nobody cares. Nobody loves them. If people do love them, they're usually trying to use them and take advantage of them. They don't see them as being worthy of marriage. God forbid you have some children. And it's horrible, awful, awful. This is actually in 85 to 90% of the cases. If you have a karmic parent like that, there's usually a past life history. Usually, in a lot of cases. And it is important to heal because the parent has a lot of support in torturing you emotionally and mentally, physically torturing you. They have a lot of support in that because how are we connected to our past lives? Through the astral. So there's a few different things that I've realized that I have to do, and trust me, I'm still a work in progress because I can't figure out for the life of me what is wrong with some people in this world, the way they become possessed. Not anybody in my household, Okay. My house is like Fort Knox spiritually. But people on the outside of my household can become possessed and pretty much lose their mind. Doesn't matter. I control my house. Nobody else controls my home. So my home is happy. It's safe. You hear my son just woke up. He's down there playing. We're all happy over here. Entities and spirits can't get through to me to make me, do anything like that. But I wanted to speak about this because we are going to have these readings today. I'm going to start on them, finish them tomorrow. They are going to be very emotionally triggering. They are. They're going to and I'm just telling y'all, they're all scheduled for today. In fact, I wish I could start on them right now. It sucks because you are not wanted in society. People do not want you. They do not value you. They don't. And I was actually looking at the most heartbreaking story. We live in a society where people don't give a shit until people are dead. It's just, you have to love yourself. People don't care about you. That's what the whole thing with, Shaniqua. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. I don't want to hear it because nobody loves anybody until they're dead or busted up or somebody done shot them or killed them. Otherwise, nobody cares. But I was looking at this story last night, and it was about this young 15-year-old girl whose mother was jealous of her light. She was jealous of her energy. And she basically gave her daughter away. Her daughter went into the system. She had issues. I could see instantly that the daughter could use some spiritual cleansing and help and just love from her mother. She got bounced around from foster home to foster home, and she ended up committing suicide live on Facebook. This actually happened, I believe 3 or 4 years ago. She committed suicide live while her mother was in the live stream encouraging her to kill herself. Okay. And absolutely unbelievable. And then the mother went and tried to garner sympathy and tried to say that it was the Division of Family Services fault that her daughter committed suicide. I guess she was trying to get some money or whatever. You're the one that gave your kid away, lady. So, your kids have problems, whether or not it's spiritual, and you'll hear them say, "Oh, I think that the child has a demon in it." Those are your demons. Those are your child came from you. But we got a lot of people that they just not real parents. They just can't hack it. Okay. And so what they'll do is, they'll use the child. Typically, when you have a parent that is doing those types of things, they are using the child for attention, is basically what they're doing. Anytime you have a parent that constantly tells their children's business all the time, like R embellishes it, spread rumors, gossips about the child, they're doing it for attention and acceptance. This is a parent that behaves like a child, right? A significant amount of damage is happening to people because of this. But would you believe that your parent is a complete idiot because they are stuck in the past? They're stuck in the past, they are. They don't know how to separate being a parent to you in this current life from what may have happened 100 years ago. Okay. And because it's an unexplained phenomenon, when people do things horrifically to the people that they care about. Everybody's like, oh, well, why did they do that? Why did they do that? The world is so spiritually behind. It's ridiculous. So that, but in a lot of the cases, a lot of you guys are depressed. A lot of you guys are sad. A lot of you guys are lonely. A lot of you guys, can't have a successful relationship. You can't have a successful career. Because that parent made sure to plant those seeds of destruction. And getting a past life reading as well as cleansing, I don't care how often you have to do it, is going to help the situation out. The thing of it is that you need a good support system. Yeah, I am a good support system just by myself. I spend hours and hours with my clients. It's what I do all day for 8 hours per day. If I'm not doing readings, I'm spending time with my clients on the phone, doing Zoom sessions. I always, when I take you on as a client, I'm willing to counsel you and be there for you for as long as it takes. Okay. And so, a lot of you guys are suffering because of that still, because that parent has, and the rest of the world doesn't know how to be supportive. There's a lot of people that, they get a kick out of abusing you. There's a lot of people that just love to abuse you. I'm going to treat you this way because of your parent, and I'm going to mistreat you, and it does not matter if I shouldn't do it. So the world is filled with opportunists and people that, would take any opportunity to hurt you any way that they can. And I can already see signs that this entire holiday season is going to be filled with a bunch of ho ho ho, but in a bad way. They're gonna act a fool. This because they're possessed. They're empty seaters. They're being used to. Who knows? Who knows? Everybody's case is different, but I can already tell there's going to be a lot of that. People know intuitively what to do and what not to do. When you've been through that kind of psychological abuse, you're pretty normal, but people around you know what not to do. They intuitively know what to do and what not to do, and how to be a part of your healing, right? But it's just that some people can be very selfish and sinister at the same time. I guess it makes them feel special. Who knows? Who knows? Especially women. Women are being murdered at a very high, alarming rate. Men are going to jail left and right because, they don't have any control over themselves. So it's a lot of stuff going on. At the end of the day, past life work is important because you've got to stop these spirits from traveling in and out of the astral. Your past life, that time, whether or not it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, is connected to your current life through the astral. It is. It's connected. This is how you're getting these spirits traveling in and out, back and forth. And I don't know if you ever heard of that movie Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's just like in life is like the movie Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a dream, but you have to control it. Otherwise, anything goes. So learning the astral, learning how to defend yourself in the astral, learning how to determine what comes into you, especially with things that are coming in through the past life. Those are the ones that you want to pay attention to, because those are the ones that actually have a connection with you. Okay. And they are connected with your soul. Okay. So if you are someone that has that orphan syndrome, PTSD, because it's very, very unfair for people to mistreat you based upon how you grew up. Based upon how you grew up, based upon your family composition. It's very unfair to be treated, to be mistreated because your mother was, how can I describe her? A piece of crap, right? Your parent was crap. It's very unfair for the world to mistreat those people, but they do. They do. The world treats orphans and people that did not have a parent like crap. Even though they claim they care, they go on and on and on and on about how much they care. They're still going to treat you like crap for some reason. I don't understand what's going on with people. That's just like that little 5-year-old, beautiful little child murdered, 5 years old. The guy's on death row right now. I don't know why he's still breathing. Over in North Carolina, I don't know why they keep them alive on death row so long, but he's still breathing, and he needs to not be breathing. Okay, but anyway, that's and they expect for you to be docile. They expect for you to accept. The world expects for you to accept any kind of treatment because of your family composition. I mean, to be honest with you, people will treat you like crap if your cousin don't respect you, or if your brother don't respect you, or if your sister don't respect you. That people will just anybody. I mean, can you imagine life, living life, and all of a sudden somebody that wants to control you or your outcome or how people treat you can actually do that? So the world needs to be educated, okay? I mean, we already live in a corrupt society as it is, and to have those added problems really sucks. I know. You'll get through it, okay? A lot of people have committed suicide because of it. A lot of people have committed suicide because of that. Family stigmatization is some of the worst. I got to be honest with you. And I wish socially, I wish to hell sometimes socially that nobody knew anything about my family, because being honest about it just bought me more judgment. And that's okay, though. I'm strong enough. Okay. And, people make light of physical or sexual abuse and trauma with children, unless the child ends up, you know, and they do it when you're a child and they do it when you're an adult. They do. We live in a crazy world, where it's a miracle to find somebody that's a decent person, you know? And so, yeah. And I think mainly the reason why, because see, your subconscious connects you to your past life. It's the subconscious that connects you at all times. For example, if something in your life from the past life just so happens to repeat in this life, you're actually doing that subconsciously. So a lot of people have no control, absolutely no control over their subconscious. I do. I'm a Cancer. I'm ruled by the moon, so I have direct control over my subconscious. But there's a lot of people that don't. They don't. They have no control over it. And then there you have it. So, those readings are going to be very powerful, but I do encourage you guys to get a past life reading. A lot of you guys will go to spiritualists and practitioners and you'll pay to get work done. You'll pay just enough to where you're like, oh, well, I don't care about that amount. It never solves your problem. You wonder what the issue is. It's your past life. And you probably didn't even realize you had a past life. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jen, at least your father loved you. At least he loved you. There's some kids that neither parent cared about them, because we're still kids, even though we're grown, we're still kids. Some of us are more mature than others, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah. And so a lot of the times, you never know. Your mother could have been someone else in your past life. Your father could have been somebody else to you in your past life. Different people may have had a connection with you in the past life. So it's very powerful to get those readings and figure out how to not allow it to affect you. You cannot control other people. You can't. You can only control you. That's it. Okay, or unless it's your husband or somebody that you may be able to have somewhat of an influence over. But I mean, obviously, if somebody's getting ready to do something violent to you, you may want to be able to use the Jedi mind trick on them and be like, hey, let's not do that, because there's a lot of people freaking out because they're not properly being guided spiritually. Add that with drugs and alcohol, and you get disaster. This is all over. This is everywhere. Okay, that this is happening. And so some things are unexplained, like unexplained persecution. Doesn't always have to be related to past life. Some of you guys are being haunted. Okay. And some of you guys are being haunted by spirits that maybe may have been gone, but they still have some kind of connection with you. But they do. They've either they've made a connection with you in this life, or maybe in a past life they could have. But some of you guys are literally being haunted. Okay. And it's crazy that, like when you look at the world, you just see people just being so unaware, just being so unaware. But thank God the field of psychology acknowledges it. They do. They acknowledge it. I know that for a fact. So I'll be here a little bit later, starting at about 10:30ish, 11ish, getting those readings out there. They're not going to be 100% accurate for everybody that watches the readings. You know what I'm saying? Because these are general readings. But I think it'll be good to open up people to that, because I see so many people that have these past life things, and they just, it destroys them. It absolutely destroys their lives, their current lives, their past life. And it doesn't have to destroy your current life. It doesn't. Okay. Now, why did I bring up narcissistic abusive parents? Because a lot of your narcissistic abusive parents were factually connected to you in a past life. But what was it? When was it? Where was it? What was happening? What was going on? It's very liberating when you find out the truth. Okay. So, Anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to speak about. I hope everybody had an excellent Thanksgiving. And so I'll be back a little bit later, you guys. Yeah, make sure that y'all click the bell notifier. All of the readings are already scheduled. They're going to be less than 30 minutes. All of the readings that I put up on the channel today and tomorrow will be less than 30 minutes. I'm going to try my damnedest to make them 30 minutes or less, just like this live, because I'm very busy, have a lot to accomplish. But yeah, so make sure that y'all hit that thumbs up. Oh, I had a great, long, boring day too. I loved it. I loved it, man. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. Make sure that you share this as well. I'd like to help as many people as possible with these issues, but yeah, so appreciate it. Yeah, it was for me too. For me too, it was a lazy day for me. I had a lot of fun. I just kind of laid around, slept in, slept late. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do a bunch of cooking. I didn't feel like slaving over the stove. We had just a regular normal dinner. So, I'm pagan. I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, even though I'm thankful. That's what I was always taught that Thanksgiving was about. But yeah, I kind of just relaxed all day and watched movies with the kid and stuff. Oh, did you? You got to order some takeout on Thanksgiving? Everything shuts down over here in Georgia on Thanksgiving. Everything shuts down. That's so funny. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, guys, I will be seeing y'all later. Y'all have a good morning. See y'all soon. Blessings.